Um, in terms of the game, my number one takeaway was just being excited about Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and particularly Breece Hall. I feel like this is a game to talk about Breece Hall. You take a step back, and this guy tore his ACL last October. He's dealing with a bottom 3 O-line, a bottom 3 quarterback situation, a bottom 3 play caller, and he's going to have like 1,400 to 1,500 total yards of offense this year. He's going to catch 75 plus passes and catches like 80% of his targets. I think sometimes we forget just how high his ceiling could be in a normal offense. And with another year of getting healthy, he can be one of the most productive offensive players in the NFL. And that was a nice reminder. It's hard for Garrett to really get going with like the pop gun arm of Simeon at this point, who just he's clearly cooked like physically, and we'll see him again on Thursday night. But with Breece, it was a good game to step back and be like, this guy can and should be an all-pro in a normal offense. He should be right there on like the Christian McCaffrey tier. I mean, no one's quite at that level right now, but he could be in that conversation if he has a good quarterback and an okay offensive line when he is catching 8, 9, 10, 11 passes in a game and is clearly the Jets' number 2 receiver right now because they have nothing else out there. So I guess a two-parter I'll lob to you. One, just give me some nice Breece gushing. Need some of that for the holidays. And two, is there a world where the Jets don't change anything on their offensive staff and every single person is back in their exact same job?
All right, let's start with the first one because that's a little bit more holiday spirit. It was a very prime Steven Jackson game from Breece Hall. Like, people forget Steven Jackson in 2006 for the Rams. That was his 3rd season. He had over 2,300 yards from scrimmage. He caught 90 passes for over 800 yards and ran for over 1,500. He was just this 6'2". I went to a preseason game, I believe, when I was a kid. Right, preseason? Probably preseason. I know I went to a Jet game once and went down to watch warm-ups, and he was the biggest running back I've ever seen in my life that didn't look like fat. Like, was just literally every ounce of him was muscle. He was 6'2", 240. Put in context, Breece is 6'1", probably 225. Breece is big. Like, Breece is really, really big. That was that kind of game where when no one was open or the quarterback wasn't comfortable, just check it down to him and let him bang bodies. Like, and wear it on the defense. And then when I turn around and hand him the ball, he could hit 60 miles an hour for a home run.
Yep.
And when you have a guy like that, it's so weird. It's good to get confirmation that Breece is that guy in a game like this, but you're also like, man, we better cherish these couple years we have of the body being like this, where he could literally single-handedly win you a game. And we better get it right next year and the year after that and the year after that, because you only get so many years of a special running back like that literally can get 30 touches in a game. So Breece is awesome. What I've always loved about him is that he has the build and mindset to wreck people, but he also has the speed to take any play the distance. And there's not a combination that really exists with a lot of guys. There's just not many that could do that. And he's not just an athlete. He has such good feel and vision as a runner that his tempo and his runs allow him to hit those big plays. So awesome game from Breece. I mean, this is who he is. He's further removed from the injury now, and you could just see how special he is. Now, as for the staff and the front office, yeah, I mean, number one, what was that not like ridiculous timing?
It's the worst possible timing in 10 or losing 30-0 to Miami. Like,
I
what are we doing?
don't know why it was going around all week. Ian Rappaport from NFL Network was on it. Schefter had it a little bit right after that, I think. And the beat was kind of mumbling that everybody was probably going to be back. So when it gets to the national guys, they're almost confirming the mumblings of the beat. But then Woody comes out Sunday and directly confirms it to the Post. And it's like, you didn't have to address this. Nobody. Yeah. You still have 3 games.
Nobody's asking for this.
If the Jets lost to the Commanders, if the Jets blew that game to the Commanders like they were going to, then assume they lose to the Browns Thursday night, and then say they get embarrassed by the Patriots. Like, why did you have to have... I'm not saying people are going to get fired, but it makes you at least wonder, would you like to leave the door open for that? It was just very, I don't know, very odd to me. Obviously, You had a really good tweet on this, that Saleh gets treated like an F coach when he's probably more like a C minus, and Douglas often gets treated like an AGM when he's more of a C kind of guy. And it has felt that way for a long time. I've felt the fan base finally turn the corner where they focus on Joe Douglas now too, because of the shortcomings this year. But it was like that for a very long time. If you bring him back, you bring him back, right? I've spoke my piece on this podcast. I think there was a way to wipe the slate clean and still compete with Rodgers, but they're obviously not interested in doing that. So if you are going to do that, fine. But I agree that maybe there just needs to be something switched with like some of the right hand men of this that aren't.
Who's your inner circle?
Right.
Clean out your inner circle.
And Rex Hogan's been here for multiple regimes.
I don't
so
get
what?
It.
I mean, he's been here through nothing but failure for how long?